Jesus, I haven't done that in a while. Hey everybody. So, I've had many hobbies over my lifetime of 18 years, and this one that I've more recently gotten into has piqued my interest. It's mechanical keyboards. Why, you may ask? No fucking clue. Absolutely no clue whatsoever. The only reason I got into this in the first place is because my friends are like, "Ooh, yes, guys, this keyboard feels nicer. Ooh, the click sounds clicky. Ooh, amazing." And for whatever reason, that just immediately got me into mechanical keyboards. The only reason I'm making this is because I made one of my own.
Bask in its glory, this amazing specimen of a keyboard. Just hear the click. Amazing, right?
Wrong. Absolutely wrong, okay? This thing cost me an arm and a leg to make, all because I wanted something that sounded just a little bit better than my last keyboard. Don't get me wrong, mechanical keyboards are amazing. I would highly suggest anyone who has the money to get an entry-level keyboard like a Ducky or any other mechanical keyboard, like I did when I first got into it. This right here is my last keyboard. It's a Ducky 1 keyboard. It's a full-size mechanical keyboard. It's got custom keycaps with Japanese hiragana on the keys. You know, useless because I can't type in Japanese, but, you know, it's a nice look, so. It came with these little accent pieces, so I kept them on because I like the color purple. Also, this is Future Jackson from editing this video. I also just wanted to mention that my old keyboard has Cherry MX brown switches. Not that anyone gives a shit, but just thought I should let you know. I mean, where the fuck is it? There it is. Haha. And this is how it sounds. There you go. On with the video. And overall, it feels so much nicer than just a regular keyboard, you know? If you have a regular Apple Magic keyboard and you move to one of these, it's like night and day. These things are fantastic, and I would highly suggest you get one if you have the money. But if you really start getting into this hobby, and you really want to make a mechanical keyboard, it's expensive. That's the only problem I have with this hobby. Everything about it is fantastic. You get to put something together yourself. Like, people who have made computers in the past, they could say that they personally made themselves their own computer. I myself made mine with a couple of friends, and it was a great experience. Just like making this. You make them for the experience of making a keyboard. You get to customize every part, you get to customize the keycaps, the switches, the case, everything that goes along with it, and even the cable. As useless as it is to get a custom cable, I mean, it's nice to have. But for those who know nothing about mechanical keyboards, let me break it down for you step by step, okay? It shouldn't be hard to understand after I explain it, okay? So you won't be in the dark. Here you go. Hey guys, Editing Jackson here again. Hello. I just want to say that this part of the video is explaining the parts that go into a mechanical keyboard without actually building it. This is for the people that don't really know a lot about mechanical keyboards and want to know a little bit more. So if you guys already know everything there is to know about building a mechanical keyboard, then right here is a timestamp to where I'm actually building the mechanical keyboard. So yeah, but if you do want to stick around, go right ahead, feel free. But anyways, on with the video. To start, there are many different sizes to mechanical keyboards. There's a full-size keyboard, a 10 keyless keyboard, a 75%, a 65%, a 60%, and so on and so forth until you get nothing, basically. It just, the percent correlates to how big it is. The bigger the percent, the bigger the keyboard is. A 100% keyboard has every single key. It has the numpad, it has the little cluster and the arrow buttons, it has the function keys above the row. Amazing. You can't go wrong with it, but you don't technically need all of those keys, which is why most people start to go for less and less keys, starting with a 10 keyless keyboard. A 10 keyless keyboard gets rid of that whole numpad on the side of the keyboard. I'll use my old keyboard for reference here. So, this right here is a 100% keyboard. A 10 keyless keyboard gets rid of all of these buttons right here. A 75% keyboard just gets all of these right here and smushes it. It smushes everything, just like my current keyboard. It has everything it needs right here. It's just very squished. It's very compact, but it still holds every function. The little cluster on the side, the arrow keys, and the function bar. Now we start to get into risky business territory, all right? For those who want to, you guys can then go for a 65%. A lot of people in the mechanical keyboard community love this size of keyboard. I'm not sure why, because it starts to get rid of functionality, because with the 65%, it still keeps the little cluster of buttons, like these little buttons right here, but it gets rid of the function row. How are you going to use F3 in Minecraft without these? How are you going to full screen your tabs with F11? How are you going to use that? It sucks, man. If I have to press another button to make it do that, why would I want to do that? That's stupid to me. I don't know. I just hate that, personally. If you guys never have any uses for the function keys, by all means, go for a 65% keyboard. For whatever reason, people just like smaller keyboards, and that's totally fine. But now it starts to get stupid. At 60%, you get rid of the arrow buttons. Why would you do that? Why would you get rid of the arrow keys on a keyboard? It's so useful. The arrow keys are so damn useful on a keyboard. There's no point in getting rid of them. Why would you go for something smaller? And then anything smaller than a 60% is usually for standalone numpads or little macro buttons. Those by itself are fine, as long as you're not using it for a full keyboard. It's stupid, but, you know, if you need the little buttons for macros or anything like that, go for it. That's usually for people with jobs in Blender or just coding in general who need an extra cluster of buttons. So, if you like it, then go for it. All right, now that we're done with sizes, let's talk about switches. Switches come in 3 types. You have linear, tactile, and clicky switches. The ones that I usually go with are tactile. They have a little bump in between them when you press it. A linear switch just goes up and down. It's very smooth. A lot of people like it because it's just, can't go wrong with it. This is where we start to get a bit iffy. Clicky switches. Personally, I like the sound of clicky switches. A lot of other people don't. That's where it kind of gets a bit iffy. Like I said, I personally like the sound. It is just a tactile switch, but it makes a sound. When you press it down, a little button in between makes a click sound, and then it goes back all the way down. That's it. That's all there is to it. It more closely resembles older keyboard computers where they were a lot clickier, and some people like it. My dad personally has a clicky switch keyboard, and I don't see the problem with it. People just think it sounds annoying. I don't know. Just go with it if you like it. If you don't, totally fine. It's all up to preference. And then from switches, there are multiple kinds of different switches. You have spring force. You have lubed and unlubed switches. You can film switches. All of this stuff. It's so much. The most common mod for keyboard switches are lubing. You get it. You lube switches. You make it smooth. You put a little dollop of lube in between each switch to make it sound nice up and down. That's what I did to my keyboard, and it sounds fantastic. You could not lube it. That's totally fine. But once you lube stuff, you can't go back. God, I'm saying lube a lot. I don't like this, but you get the gist of it. But the thing that you must do when you lube your keyboard is you gotta lube stabilizers, or else it'll go from sounding like this to something like this. It just sounds so much fucking better. It goes from sounding super rattly to something super smooth. It's amazing. Just do it. Spend the time to do it. It's so much more worth it to just do it, okay? No reason not to, okay? Trust me on this. All right, the last notable thing when it comes to keyboards are keycaps. Oh my god, keycaps, all right? So as I was talking about it before, my old keyboard has these nice keycaps on it. Very nice. You can't go wrong with it. It's very clean. It has Japanese hiragana on it, plus the little purple accents. This is what gives keyboards their look. You can choose from a variety of different colors, styles, all of these to go on top of your keyboard. This is what people see. This covers the key switch. You don't see the key switch. You see these keycaps. It looks so much nicer. Just go with whatever color you like. You can mix and match. You can do all this kind of stuff. You can buy aftermarket keycaps from Etsy or eBay or AliExpress or just anywhere you can usually buy stuff, and you could probably find nice keycaps. I would suggest getting dye sublimated keycaps where it won't rub away. The style or the legend on the keycap will not rub away no matter how much you use it, because it is plastic inside of plastic. Just go with it, okay? It's worth it. Since I have gone over everything that there is to cover about keyboards, because I've been on this kick Now I can push it onto you. Let me show you what I've done with my keyboard. I put this thing together myself. I love it. It is fantastic. I made this to show it off. It is my baby, and I spent so much goddamn money on this. Oh my god. Okay? The problem with making your own mechanical keyboard is how expensive each part is, okay? To make a keyboard, you have to buy the kit, the switches, the keycaps, the cable, everything. And sometimes you even have to buy a soldering iron. Personally, I had one and I wanted to solder it myself. Or you can get hot swappable sockets so you can just pull in and out the key switch. It just means you can put it together without soldering. I opted for soldering because I wanted to get the full mechanical keyboard experience when it came to this. You don't have to. I personally did. Let me go over how much this thing was. Case alone was about $150. The switches itself were $100. The cable was about $70. The keycaps were about $100. All of this totaled to about $450. Everything that goes into this, oh my god, is so expensive, okay? That's the only reason why I can understand people not getting into it. It's always up to you when it comes to this kind of thing. Whatever works for you, okay? All right, now let me get into the process of how I made this keyboard, okay? I recorded some clips on stream of me lubing switches, clips of me soldering and putting together this keyboard. Literally everything there is to it, okay? But yeah, while we're here, let's get into how I made this and let's see if you want to build one yourself. So when I finally got all the parts I needed to start making this keyboard, I started off by taking apart my key switches on stream. You take apart key switches to start lubing them and making them sound a lot nicer. The switches I got were Zelios V2s, and they're a tactile switch, and they just sound fantastic. The way I start to lube switches is by getting a little bit of lube, getting it on a brush, and start going around all of the bottom housing. I then get a spring, and I get a lot of it, and I start putting it around the edges of the top and bottom of the spring. I then get a little piece of paper called a switch film, which goes in between the switch, which keeps the switch tighter and also gives it a different sound. I then get a little grabbing arm to hold the switch stem in place so that I don't grab it with my hands. If I were to grab it with my hands and I started putting lube on it, then it would get all over my hands. When lubing the stem itself, I want to get a decent amount of lube on the brush, and I want to spread it all the way around the switch, enough to make it a little glossy. I then had to repeat this process 84 times for the 84 keys on my keyboard. My god, did it take up so much time. Any free time that I had, including in between classes, I would spend lubing switches. And it overall took, give or take, 4 to 5 hours, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when all you're doing is lubing switches non-stop, it really starts to weigh on you. But hey, at least my keyboard sounds nice. By the way, I'm an idiot for not keeping the switch in shot. And now I start to lube and tune the stabilizers. If you take the time to lube and tune your stabilizers, then you're a step above everyone else. It goes from a really shitty sounding keyboard to something that sounds really professional. The stabilizers I'm using here are Durock V2s lubed with Krytox Geo5 Grade 0. It's the same stuff I was lubing the switches with. When lubing stabilizers, what you want to do is you want to get a little bit of lube and brush it along the inside of the housing, enough to where you notice that there's a little bit of sheen on it. You then do the same to the stem, just as you would with a regular switch. Next, when lubing the wire, you want to lube the shit out of that thing. Just like you're going balls deep, you want to coat that thing from top to bottom with lube, even over the corner, because that's where most of the rattle comes from. You then repeat this process for all of your stabilizers. Make sure to test your stabilizers with a switch to make sure they sound nice, because once they're screwed in, you won't be able to change it. I then forgot to film a step of me putting all the switches into the plate and the PCB. It was a quick step and I completely forgot to record it, but overall it's not that interesting. So here I'm showing you the process of me soldering the switches into the PCB. In my opinion, soldering is one of the most fun steps about building a keyboard. I had to learn how to solder, and once I got the hang of it, it really didn't take that much time. Overall, it took about 30 minutes and it was done. Also, when you see me turning over the keyboard, it means I messed up in putting switches in and I bent one of the pins, so I just had to pull them out and bend it back into place and stick it back in. Next, I screw in the plate with the soldered switches into the case. The case I got is a Tofu 84 from KBD Fans. I wanted to go with a 75% board because it has everything a TKL has except a bit smaller, and looks a lot nicer, a lot cleaner. I also went with a white case because it contrasted well with the purple and black keycaps that I got. And if you're wondering what that little disc is on my screwdriver, it's just a magnet attached to it so that it keeps the screws in place. It's super annoying when those tiny little fucking screws get lost inside the case. I have to like shake it out and stuff. It's just not worth it. And now the final step to putting together my keyboard is putting on the keycaps. The keycaps I ended up getting were GMK Taro clones that I found on Etsy. It's just overall a super clean look with the purple and black and then the white case for contrast. It's fucking awesome. Hell yeah. I arranged all the keycaps I needed and put them on some painter's tape because they came in a little bag, not a little plastic tray like they usually should. Which is a little annoying, but who cares? It didn't really affect the keycaps at all, so wasn't a problem. And now that the keyboard's all done being put together, here is the final result. But actually, before we start listening to this keyboard, let's listen to the old one to see how it compares to the new one. And there you guys have it, my finished keyboard. Here it is, as you guys have seen throughout the video, my pride and joy. I just want to say that as much shit as I've been talking on this keyboard, I seriously love it, and it is one of the most amazing things I've ever made. Whether that be a keyboard or just anything else that I've made, I really enjoyed making it. And that should be the whole point of making a mechanical keyboard in the first place, is to enjoy the process of making it, having something custom tailored to what you like. That's what's so great about it, you know? If that's just not your thing, go for something pre-built. Go for it. That doesn't even matter, man. Like, just get something that you would enjoy to have. Whatever you think you need. That's the long and short of it. By the way, I just want to mention, this is like the third version of me in this video. I'm like in totally different outfits because this video is taking me so fucking long to make. It's like 3 weeks or something like that because I'm lazy. Whoa! Anyways, I also want to thank Nick, who helped donate to this keyboard on my live stream. It was for my birthday, and overall, he has been donating on my streams for such a long time and just really loves to support what I do. And there's not much I could do in return other than say thank you and dedicate this video to him, because this has been so great to make, and in return, it's helped make such a great video, in my opinion. I loved making this video. Whether or not you guys care about mechanical keyboards, I love making videos that embody what I like to do. I like to make stuff. I like to talk about what I like, my hobbies, that sort of thing. Like one of the last videos I made on one of my hobbies was about anime, and that was just so out of left field for what I make, but I just loved making the video and talking about it and just telling people about why I like it and why you guys should try it out, you know? Same goes for this mechanical keyboard video. This is so out of left field for people who know me personally, or not personally, just like watch my streams, watch my videos, because many of you just know me from FBE and all that kind of stuff and just know about the stuff that I do there. And so the fact that you guys get to come here and see the stuff that I'm into just really makes me happy. And so I appreciate all of you for supporting me and watching my stuff, especially to Nick, like I said, for helping donate to help make this video possible. It would not be possible without you guys. And if you guys want to be updated on when I'm out on the internet, all that kind of stuff, I'm usually live on Twitch. Lately I haven't been because I've been busy with work and school, but that doesn't mean I'm never live. So I would highly suggest you guys go check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/JacksonHH. It would mean the world to me if you guys would just go over there and watch. That's really the end of this video. If you guys like what you saw, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Other videos coming up, don't know when, but you know, hopefully you guys stick around to when I do upload next. That really would mean a lot to me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye, guys.